Yeah, I like to make beats.
Over all the same color. I'm 5, well-rounded. Do you?
All good,
Work, I think make room, but so positive and easygoing are the do you? In 10 years, we don't care about any sense of somebody that you can know there's more space than I am. But I'm a dreamer on my bike, you just wanna dance.
Especially because
Work, I think make room, but so positive and easygoing are the color.
is it hard?
So positive and easygoing are the wanna dance. Make more money. So positive and easygoing are there for do you? So positive and easygoing are the wanna dance. Make more money. So positive and easygoing are there for do you? Nice. Do you? Over all the same color. I'm 5, well-rounded. Do you?
All good,
Work, I think make room, but I'm a dreamer. Do you? In 10 years, we don't care about any place. Somebody that you can know there's more things than I am. But I'm a dreamer on my bike, you just wanna dance.
Especially because
Work, I think make room, but I'm a dreamer.
is it hard?
Nice. So positive and easygoing are the wanna dance. Make more money. So positive and easygoing are there for do you? So positive and easygoing are the wanna dance. Make more money. So positive and easygoing are there for do you? Do you?
All right, so here's the situation. So they must have did an update to Rumble Studios. So right now I can't even change my showing screen, and I fudge and hate it when it happens. So what's gonna happen is I get to refresh my screen and see what's going on because I'm not even showing up on the YouTube side. So yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, you Rumble. Gosh damn.
It's a feature.
Oh Lord, it is. All right. Oh, quick second. Quick second. Okay, I should be back on. Now, there we go. All right. Goodness sake, I don't know why it wasn't showing up. And it's still not showing up on the YouTube side. Well, that's just great.
Google's blocking us.
No, it's they did an update, and obviously when they do an update it screws things up, and it's irritating. So, it is what it is, unfortunately. I don't know how to get out of it for the YouTube side, but at least it's showing a nice. So on the YouTube side, it's showing my nice background thing we were seeing earlier with the clouds and stuff. So I mean, they get something nice, but you can hear me. So the sound is going on over there. Oh man. Oh, this is fun already. Welcome, PoisonTaco. Anyway. Hello everyone. My name is Daramouthe, or Dara for short, and welcome to Darachat. Now, obviously, we're having what is known as a hiccup for Rumble Studios. They decided to do a little thing. They actually updated the bitrate for Rumble Studios. So there's that. So that might be a bit of a problem, but at the end of the day, it is what it is, unfortunately. But anyway, are you okay? Can you speak?
Yes, I can speak. How's it going?
Good. How are you? I was like, good. Did I scare him off? Oh, I was like, did I scare him off or something? What's going on? Oh goodness.
No, not at all.
Okay. Yeah, they can at least hear me, but they can't see me. It's gonna be a fun time. But yeah, no, thank you for coming on, PoisonTaco. I know it's not exactly the best way to start things out, but stuff happens, so there's that. But yeah. Oh goodness. But anyway, thank you for coming on. I know you're probably like, oh, what is this thing? What is it about?
No, it just feels like normal for Rumble. Rumble feels like it's in early access, for lack of a better term. Which, they're great and all, but I expect an alpha experience.
Well, I think alpha comes before the beta. Isn't that how it goes? It's usually alpha, then beta, then 1.0. I mean, it used to be, because I remember when Minecraft came out, right? Minecraft came out, and then you'd have like the alpha version, then the beta version, and then all these other versions after, like 1.0 something or other. Ooh. But yeah, it is a feature that they just don't test very well, it seems. But yeah, so it is what it is. But yeah, it's when especially when they brought Rumble Studios out of beta, it's like, you could have used it in beta for a little longer, but it is what it is, unfortunately. But yeah, Minecraft was such a long time ago, to be honest. Notch got a good payout for Minecraft. I think he got like $1 billion or something for it. I can't remember.
They still gave him a raw deal, though.
How so?
Oh, how they've like basically scrubbed his name from the game. They don't invite him to anything. Which I just find plainly disrespectful. Like, yeah, he got a bag of money, but at the end of the day, he's still made it. He still deserves to be recognized for it.
Yeah, and I mean, I think some of the original crew is still there at Mojang. That's right, Mojang. But yeah, it's sort of. But I mean, once you're given like $1 billion something, do you really care as much about your previous product anymore? I mean, it's just.
Well, actually, he talked about going through a bit of depression in the years after he got the payout.
Really?
Because, of course, he had essentially fuck you money. Yeah. He's like, I can do whatever I want, but at this end of the day, all my friends have to work. So what can I do while my friends are at work? And like his girlfriend or fiance at the time left him just because she wasn't all for that lifestyle change that came with it. And there's all kinds of things and I think in general, he's a fairly private person these days. Like, you don't see him much on social media and anything like that. Of course, he says or does anything the left will do anything to cancel him because he's one of those verboten people.
Yeah.
But that's just kind of nature of the beast as it is. Yeah,
but I mean, he's never been one to be like those type of people who get a lot of money and boast about it or whatever. It was just because it went to Microsoft. Microsoft is what gave him the payout. And they certainly done a lot with Minecraft. They have the Minecraft, and then what was it, Minecraft Portals or Legends or something like that.
Oh yeah, they've done spin-offs, they've done add-ons, they've done everything they can to market it. And there's merchandising up the wazoo.
Yep.
Can't go anywhere without seeing Minecraft. Anything is highly recognizable to kids.
Yep.
Which, if you're gonna get kids into a video game, honestly, can't argue with that. There's worse.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
Yeah, especially with the movie coming out, and that's a bit of something right there in itself. So
that's gonna be awful.
I was like, oh, hold on. You're going to make a Minecraft movie about a place that doesn't really have a story to begin with. Like
which
sorry.
could lend itself well. Minecraft is a sandbox. You have a sandbox to write a story. The
Hmm.
problem is Hollywood isn't interested in that. They're interested in pushing the message,
Hmm.
as we're all familiar with.
Right.
But, you know, could they? Sure. And at this point, now that superhero and comic book movies are kind of on their way out,
Hmm.
video games are the new gold mine, as it were. So we're kind of in that stage where it seems like every studio wants to have their own video game franchise movies. They're trying to
Hmm.
figure out who they can get deals with, who
Yeah.
they can what, and they're still trying to figure out what works, what doesn't. We saw the Sonic movie, we saw the Mario movie, there's the Halo TV show, which didn't work out that well, right?
Hmm.
So I think it's just they're trying to find that formula uh, that um, that led to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Essentially, that's what everyone wants.
Yeah. And I kind of get that because again, Mario was sort of on hands with Miyamoto, so there was on hands with that, and I'm pretty sure Sega was very on hands with Sonic, saying this is what you can do, this is what you can't do. But
Well,
stuff,
they changed Sonic, right? They first revealed the trailer. Sonic looked awful,
yeah,
and well, they changed it, and they're on their third movie now. So
yeah, with Keanu Reeves as Shadow. Now that was an interesting take to have Keanu Reeves as Shadow. That was, I think that's gonna work out well because he has that brooding effect, Keanu. So we'll see how it goes. Um, but yeah, for the Sonic series, I think they just loosely based it on the beginning games because there's no real. There's a story with the games. You have Sonic Adventure 2. You have some form of. They're like different books, right? There's not really a big connection, but they're different. They're part of similar things within them. But within the movies, there's a thread, but not really. At least from what
oh,
I can tell.
exactly.
Because I mean, for me, in Sonic Adventure 1, you get not only a new character, Chaos, you also get what the Master, the more of a story between the Master Emerald and the Chaos Emeralds, because there's not really, other than like the like Sonic 3, right, where you can collect the Chaos Emeralds and the Super
Right.
Gems and all that stuff. There's not really been a story, and I know they did something more with like the Final Frontier, but even then it was just like, hey, look, how you doing?
Hey,
Hello.
look, it's either Mike or HTK in the house.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's one of the other. How are you doing, good sirs? But yeah, it's for me that was and of course that story about the emeralds portion kind of lend itself to number 2 where oh Mike Peter uses HDK.
Ah,
All
that
right.
makes sense.
Hey Mike. Hey Mr. Mike, how's it going? Um but yeah, it's going to be interesting how they do number 3 of how closely rated to the uh, whether they keep to the story of the games or not, because there is a story there. It's just it's just going to be interesting how they do it because they did show in the trailers. Now this is something they showed. They did show in the trailers that Gerald Robotnik is alive, which
Right.
doesn't for me doesn't make sense because in the story of the game, he's already gone. He's already gone.
They're gonna
And
take their own liberties, and I mean, we saw that all the time with the comic book movies.
mm,
Um, you'll see hardcore Marvel purists pick apart the MCU movies,
mm,
which, if that's what you're into, fair.
yeah.
Like, I'm not into comic book heroes, but I mean, you look into what Thanos was in the comics versus what we got in the movies. It's like, okay,
Mm.
I can see the point. Yeah, where the movie's still enjoyable, but. Comic Thanos would have been better by
Yeah,
far.
Because again, I'd watch on YouTube. I'd watch these comic people. They read like bits of the comic books, whatever. And the story of the gauntlet and the Infinity Stones and all. There's more of a story to it. There's the Soul Journey or whatever it was, the Infinity Stone journey before Infinity War, where Thanos goes out to find him and all that stuff. But all of it is driven. All of this thing for the Infinity Gauntlet is driven by one thing. It's Thanos' love for Mr. Steph. While in the movies, they completely go a different way. It's all about balance. No, he doesn't care about balance. He doesn't care at all about balance. He cares about the affection of Mistress Death, which I don't
He's
even
the
know.
universe's biggest simp.
Yeah, basically. Well, I mean, then you have Deadpool, and they kind of share that relationship with Lady Death, but one's a comedic factor, one's sort of like a
Yep.
dark factor, which, yeah, I'm not a comic book person either, but that's what I remember seeing from all the people who enjoy the comics. Plus the games, because she would make an appearance in the games.
But no, I think that's the general push right now. The well is dry on superheroes. There's only so many Batmen you can have. There's only so many Spider-Men you can have until people get tired of it.
Yeah, and the thing of it is that while for the majority of the part, right, from first Iron Man to Endgame, minus Captain Marvel, you did have a story there weaved throughout these different movies, and that was pretty incredible. Not everyone liked each movie, but however, there was a story there weaved through each. The end credits. They started that whole end credit thing, right? From the second,
bringing the comic book continuity into film is something. Is an achievement they can be proud of.
Yeah.
And I'm not the biggest fan of the movies. Like, honestly, I think half of the Marvel movies are just like the way they're shot. They're too clean. They're too smooth. I don't like the camera work in some of them. Like, it sometimes it's too shaky.
Yeah.
And I find it like too ADHD. But you can't deny that it was an experiment that paid off and did well.
Yeah.
So for that, it is what it is. Is it fine cinema? Hell no. It's movies meant to sell Thor hammers to children. I mean, yeah, if you enjoy it, you enjoy it. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's not the end all be all.
Yeah, it's it's meant to sell. Well, nowadays it's like if you go to movies, certain movies they sell those special buckets and cups sort of thing, which I'm like, okay, I guess I don't know, because
but they need to give the theaters something, right? They need to give the theaters something to profit off of, otherwise they'll just die.
Well, yeah, that's true. Hey, Big Black. My issue is that there are some theaters that are they're basically running off the concession stuff, and concessions are so high that you can't always afford to get a concession. Like there's a theater I can go to where they sell stuff cheaply, concession wise, but there's also another theater I go to where they sell the concessions high. Like some food, do like a combo thing, like a pizza and a drink, it's like almost $30. And it's just
you just do what I do. You sneak it in.
You sneak a pizza in?
Not a pizza, but like when I was in high school, my friends and I was sneaking an entire backpack full of junk food.
Goodness sake, that's hilarious. But I mean, that makes sense. I mean, my mom would do that too. She'd have her purse and sneak all the candy bars and stuff.
We'd have a group of 6 or 7 of us. With the kid in the middle wears the backpack. Yeah. So then everyone else is kind of huddled around him, kind of blocking that backpack. And the kid on the edge is like, "Here's our tickets, please." Guy tears it. "Okay, away you go." And we would go in.
Yeah.
And you basically take whatever you want in the backpack. You want a full bag of chips? Go for it. You want, whatever candy or pop you want?
Yeah.
Your world's your oyster. Like, just go.
Yeah.
No, I've always snuck things in the movie theater. Screw that. I'm not paying more. Why would I pay $5 for like candy or whatever when I can just go to the store, which is like just down in the strip mall from my theater, and spend $1, $2.
Yeah. What was it? I was just thinking of some. I lost it. But yeah, it's funny. It's funny how they always say don't bring in outside food or snack, and then they don't really pat you down to do that. So it's sort of like in the Pirates of Caribbean, right, where they do the parlay, but they more of like guidelines rather than just hardcore rules to follow. Yeah,
That
it's
movie theater worker is being paid minimum wage, and they're gonna have to be there until 3 a.m. to
mhm.
clean up your popcorn off of the floor and any other sticky shit that you dropped on the movie theater.
Yeah.
They're there until the late hours of the morning cleaning up your sloppy mess. If
Mhm.
I were them, I would not give a shit either.
Yeah, I can understand. Well, I mean, they also get to see movies for free, but still, it's not a high paying job, like most jobs are. But it seems like most people expect low paying jobs to be high class. I don't know if that's the right way of putting it. If they're going to pat me down, they better. Is that a salami? Or you just happen to see me? Oh
No,
goodness.
no minimum wage employee cares. They're
Mm,
not gonna care. Like they're not gonna pat you down.
yeah.
They're
It's
not
only
paid enough for that shit.
Yeah, it's only when you make it too obvious, like, oh, look, I'm bringing in a candy bar from outside. Yeah, if you're that idiot, you deserve to get slapped. I mean,
Yeah.
someone just pop up and slap you. I'm all for it.
I think it's just part of the game. You sneak it in, you get caught. That's fair.
Yeah.
Get better at sneaking it in.
Come on, guys. This is sort of like steak, right? You get the cardboard box, you sneak the stuff in, all that stuff. Come on, get better at this game. But yeah, no, I can understand it. It's just, um, yeah, it just feels like, theaters can't. What was it? There was that whole AMC scare not too long ago, right? Where they thought, after the whole COVID stuff and whatnot, that they were gonna just shut down or whatever. They're still going, but I think at a point, movie theaters are just not gonna survive, especially if they're big ones, right? Like I know there's IMAX. IMAX can do pretty well because they do a lot of different things.
There's just so much competition.
Yeah. And I remember back in the day there used to be like a dollar theater, but the theater was so run down. It was like yeah.
Movie theaters were big like 70s, 80s, bit of the 90s when your pastime was, hey, let's go see a movie.
Yeah.
Now, what are you gonna do for your entertainment? Are you gonna watch? Let's go overspend and see a movie at the theater, or let's open the plethora of streaming services and find a movie I haven't seen. There's so much being released content wise. You can no life Rumble, you can no life YouTube, you can go to any streaming service you want.
Mhm.
You can go outside and touch grass if that's really what you want to do. But like the options you have available to you to entertain yourself are so varied.
Mhm.
And as far as I'm concerned, like I only go see a movie if there's something I really want to see, but that's rare.
Mhm.
Yeah, if it's like highly anticipated, yeah, I'll pay and go see it. But other than that, I don't care.
What's the last movie you've seen in the theater then?
Last one I wanted to see, I don't even remember.
It's been that long, huh?
I wanted to see Deadpool, but I didn't bother. I didn't want to pay for it, so I'm like, whatever, I'll wait.
Yeah.
Can't remember.
That's been a long time. I see. The last one I saw was the Superman one with the Christopher Reeve story one. That was
Right.
pretty good. Yeah, that was a pretty good one. It's hey Steve. Hey, sorry over there, Steve. Yeah, it's not showing up, but at least you can still hear us over there. So at least it's something. I'll try talking to them later today if support will listen. But yeah, that was the one I saw that, and it was not an easy one to watch because you're going through the story of Christopher Reeve, kind of coming up and coming and going through playing the Superman movie, and then kind of coming to the point where his accident happened and all the paraplegic and all that stuff. So it was kind of a journey in its own right. But yeah, it was not
Right.
an easy gig to sit and watch that. So. But yeah, that was the last movie I saw. I did see the Deadpool one. I saw it about a few times. I enjoyed it, but yeah, I think there's only certain movies. I've only seen a few movies in in IMAX, and that's I think. Let's see. Um, IMAX one. I saw Oppenheimer in IMAX. Um, I saw the I saw Godzilla X Kong in IMAX. Um, Interstellar. Oh Lord, Interstellar. I'd see that in IMAX again in a heartbeat. I'd see it again in a heartbeat if they'd ever show it again, but who knows? Um, yeah, it's just I think there's some movie theaters that provide more, but it costs more, and
Yeah.
others are just a dime a dozen. So 27-inch 4.3 decent size 70 80, so maybe 480 movie theater experience was more impressive than. Yeah, that is true. I mean, right now I think IMAX can go at a higher resolution. That's why Christopher Nolan shoots in IMAX, I believe.
They'll go to higher resolution. They still got the 3D gimmick. They'll
Yeah.
They'll do what they can to try and pull you into the theater at the end of the day. Maybe they should try making better movies instead of pandering. But that might be too much to ask for these days.
Yeah, I kind of look at it like this. There's one thing I look at is not all movie critics, official or supposedly official movie critics, are ones you really shouldn't take their word per se, because there have been some movies that they said weren't great, and I went to go see them, and I enjoyed them. Right? Like I think some said Godzilla X Kong wasn't great. I went to go see it. I had fun. Um, what was another one? I'll think of it. But it's just stuff like that where if you're listening to these people who've made a living on being these movie reviewers and such, and you go see a movie, they said, nope, don't go see it. It's not worth it. And you go see it, and like, I had fun with this. What's their problem?
These people live on access media. They're never going to give you a straight answer because at the end of the day, they're part of marketing now.
Well, this is YouTube. This is content creators themselves as well. Content creators that have built their thing on being movie reviewers, they're also part of that ordeal.
They might, unless you're trying to go after like integrity, maybe they're just chasing access media. They don't want to say anything too bad because they want the goodies. They want that free trip to Disneyland.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's just an interesting notion on yeah, you could have friends who go see a movie and you can kind of trust their viewing bit because they might usually know what you like or don't like. But I think at the end of it, you kind of the ultimate decider of where your money goes and what movie you want to see, and relying on movie critics, it shouldn't be a full standard to do so, because sometimes they get it wrong if depending on, right, at least it's what I've seen, what I've gone through, but I'm not always right, so there's that too. But yeah, it's just a weird thing because of course you probably know of Chris Stuckman and some of those big ones, and it's just, yeah, I don't know. Oh, and he says, Big Black says, I want my movies to preach at me and sacrifice story for agenda, nothing. Wow, Big Black, you are some wave maker. I
think there is something like of a little bit of a revolt in Atlanta too. I think I know some of the tradespeople are like are leaving the film industry in droves, because it's like because a lot of films are shot in Atlanta now. Like Atlanta's kind of becoming the new Vancouver for like desirable places to shoot your movie in, just because like tax incentives is where the talent is and all that kind of thing. And from what I've heard, a lot of the guys who work on sets, so like your electricians, your carpenters, your working men and women who actually build the sets, who do all the grunt work and behind of film production, a lot of them are leaving the film industry because it's like, why would I work on a production, on a project where the people making it hate me? Like, it's just... because of like all the pandering, all the whatever. It's just nonsense.
And that's another thing too that I kind of find myself as crossword is while it's great to kind of harangue and mock these, industries, like movie and stuff. My thing is the only true thing. I mean, you could do the social media stuff or whatever, and they may take down stuff. My thing is that the only thing that these people will fully respond to is money, because they thrive on. Directors don't get paid. Great actors don't get paid. The studios don't get any money. That is the one true thing. I mean, you could go to social media and do like the whole social credit sort of thing where you could take down Warner Brothers, whatever. But at the end of the day, money is king for these people. And that's where the focus should be on. If you don't like a certain studio, right? If like Warner Brothers does something you don't like. Now, obviously, that kind of cuts out a lot of people, right? Because there's Christopher Nolan. He's done a lot of great movies, depending on which one you watch, or even if you care about him at all, because that's personal perspective. You'll be missing out. You could be missing out on some great movies. However, to do a whole blanket scenario over a studio because of some high corporate overlord or whatever is kind of a misnomer in itself. So you have this juxtaposition. The J position. Words. Dang it. That word. It's gonna be a long day. You have these crossroads of things where it's kind of a personal thing where the individual has to decide where they want their money to go for their entertainment value, because at the end of the day, money is all these people are going to respond. Well, not all. Money is a big thing of what these people are going to respond to. Just look at the Joker 2 movie, right? It's not making the views. It's not making the money. It's showing that it's failing because there's not enough cash going into it. They
put enough. I know, and they made it specifically to own the chuds. They're like, oh, these incels like the Joker movies, so now we have to ruin it. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's more about influence than it is money.
Possibly. I'm not going to fully rely on that, but
no. If it was about money, Star Wars would be able to print money right now. Is it? No.
No, it's losing money.
Their priority is influence and using the big platform they have with the franchise to push a message. Like if you gave me Star Wars and said make money, I'd be like, you're on it. Like, we would have KOTOR movies, we would have more video games coming out. The license, like, if you've seen how Games Workshop has been with the Warhammer license, basically if anyone who wants to make a Warhammer game, they can. It'd be the same thing with Star Wars. Like, the cash would be flowing in. But at the end of the day, Disney, well, people named Kennedy had choices to make, and they decided that filling in a checkbox was more important than making money, because they've continued to double, triple, quadruple, quintuple down on the messaging. They haven't stopped. Even now, they're multiple failures in. They're still pushing the message.
Yeah, that's where striking at the heart of it is going to have to matter most. I mean, you can't technically strike at just Star Wars. You have to strike at the heart of it, which is Disney. Disney owns Star Wars, Disney owns Marvel. So you're going to have to strike at Disney itself in order for either you want them to change or you want them to just go full bankrupt and out. So
For something as big as Disney, it's impossible to it's impossible to boycott them because they own so much. You're inevitably gonna buy something or watch something that's made by them. But if you can, like wherever possible, avoid spending money on Disney, it's like sure, cool.
Yeah, I just think that's the only way people are gonna get what they want to get across for these companies that have taken a twisted turn. Is you're gonna have to strike them at the core, at which matters to them. And yeah, you could say it's impossible. I'm not gonna say it's impossible. I'm just gonna say it's very hard because they've had history. They have the characters and all that stuff. So there's a lot of working in their favor, but money is still part of that equation. So even if you're able to hurt them enough, I think it can be a stark reminder of where the power of that can be.
It's quite all right because you can move on to things that you enjoy and put your time, money, and energy there and leave the crap in the dust. Because guess what? The things that people do enjoy, the escapism we do like, is going to flourish. Like the good stuff will rise to the top.
Yeah, and I think people instead of making huge complaints about the industry has failed us, this has failed us, whatever, support the ones that are actually going to make the change, right? Like the independents or what have you, the up and comers, and all that stuff. You want to support the I guess the cream of the crop rather than the failing stalks or shafts of wheat, whatever you want to call it. Because that's where you want the energy to go, not to say, Disney this, Disney that. Make your wording on what Disney's doing, and then support your independence or up and coming that you believe in, because the energy should go there, not to the complaining factor. You can make awareness, not saying anything against that, but to put the energy towards those who will actually make something that can, people will want to watch, whatever. That's where that energy should go, instead of just all this toiling and complaining, mocking. Sure, great, whatever. But let's do something.
Laughing at it is fun, and you know what? Doing the nerd thing and picking apart anything, because it's just what nerds do. We've been doing it even when something is good. But kind of picking apart the latest Star Wars shows, be like, oh, this is inaccurate. Oh, this is dumb. Who wrote this schlop? Whatever, that's fun. But at the end of the day, also try and make sure you have time for things that you enjoy. Otherwise, you'll be driven insane with how much crap is out there.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing, too, is one of the things that got me was when people were talking about the Alkali, and I've never watched it. I'm only giving my perspective.
I refuse to watch it.
And my thing was, I heard from a lot of different creators that nobody watched it, right? They use that keyword, nobody. And I'm like, hold on a second. First off, you watched it in order to make commentary on it. So that right there is not nobody. Second.
And then there are going to be the people that go, oh, this had to be bad. Let's see how bad it is. And they're going to watch it like, oh, shit, that was pretty bad.
Yeah. And again, mock it all you want. That's fine. But when you say nobody watched it, that's incorrect. Yeah. Because when you use the word nobody, what does nobody mean? It means no one, zero, zilch. No one watched it.
To be fair, there's that petition going around to bring back the Acolyte. I don't even think it's cracked 100,000 signatures. So it's like the audience for that show is still low. There is an audience. It's just not enough to sustain like a $200 million production or some shit. Not enough to support that.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I was like, no, it's not nobody. There's not. Same with She-Hulk, right? She-Hulk did not have the numbers to continue sustaining itself. It wasn't nobody was watching it. It was the numbers weren't there to keep it going. And that's where I find there's a dishonesty with using the hyperbole and saying nobody was watching. No. It was not nobody. It was not enough. That's where I find it troubling, is where you have these creators who say that sort of thing, and then they complain about the other side who's doing their own form of hyperbole, right? Because
Yeah.
it doesn't matter which side you're on. Both sides do their own form of hyperbole. We all do exaggeration, right? We all exaggerate. Oh man, I had like a 100-hour nap. Oh my goodness, it was so great. Or I ate a dozen steaks or stuff like that, right? We all have our own form of exaggeration. But when you have these creators out here and they're trying to do the whole truth thing, right? They all do about searching the truth, finding the truth, whatever. Then they do this thing called hyperbole. And now they're changing the fact of, oh, this is the truth, not that's the truth. I'm like, no, that's not how this goes. And of course, one of the people I've had on before tried to explain to me like the nobody factor. But my thing is dictionary wise, that's not nobody. And that's the thing too, is right, they're going around and changing the word nobody to something else. And that gets me as well, because then they're acting like the other group of people that complain about who changes words, racism, sexism, whatever you want. And then they act like it's okay. And I'm like, wait a second here. Wait a second. That doesn't make any sense. It's almost mind-boggling when you don't stop and look at it a bit. Whoops.
Yeah, I just dropped something.
I hope it wasn't something important.
No, it's just fidget.
Oh.
I fidget a lot.
A fidget? Do you have a fidget spinner?
Not right now.
Curses. But yeah, that's just my perspective. It's sort of when you stop and think about things for all, it's sort of like, so wait, you're doing hyperbole. You're also complaining about the other side doing hyperbole, right? And then you're changing the meaning of a word to something that's not what it is. And then you complain about the other side changing words to what they aren't. What's the difference?
I don't know, man. I just want space battles, and I'm not getting it in Star Wars anymore. Like, I just want to see the spaceships fly around and shoot each other, and instead I get lesbian witches. Like,
Well, I mean, it could work if it's a hot scene. I always say if it's a hot scene, it could work, but they don't do it like that anymore.
I don't even care if there's a scene. When I sign up for Star Wars, I want ships flying around, shooting each other, blowing them the fuck up.
Mm.
If I don't get that, I have to go somewhere else to get that. Because
Yeah.
like,
Why
what
not?
the shit? Like, the thing that gets me is like, Disney has had Star Wars for however many years now, and it's like you compare the original trilogy to the prequel trilogy,
Mm.
and like when they were making the prequels, they're kind of describing how the original trilogy was like the 70s and 80s. Now everything's mass produced and boxy and has an industrial utilitarian look. And then the prequels would be like the 50s and 60s, where you have more rounded edges and stylized cars, but like that in the ships. That's where like you got the Naboo ships. And since Disney has taken over Star Wars, we don't have new ships. Oh, what do the Rebels use 30 years in the future? Is it a new ship that's evolved from the X-Wing? No, it's still the X-Wing.
Mm.
What do the Empire use? Is it something evolved from the... No, it's just a TIE fighter. We're just using the same Star Destroyer from 30 years ago because fuck it. Like, but even then, like, you compare the prequels to the original trilogy, the prequels had, like, the clone troopers flew, like, the ARC 170s that were, like, kind of an X-Wing, but not really. You could, like, the DNA was there, right? But you're like, oh, that's, like, the ship before the X-Wing. You can see, like, that lineage there. But you don't get any of that with the new shit. I think like the best we've seen, I think, is the Mandalorian ship. And I think that, like, in terms of like cool sci-fi things to latch onto, like what do sci-fi fans like? They like ships, they like gizmos, they like seeing like technology and things like that. We haven't seen anything like that.
Not that I remember.
They're obsessed with space magic and making and turning Star Wars into like this high fantasy shit. And
Right.
it's like, that's not what I'm here for. I'm here for space battles, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's I mean that's what you would expect for being a fan. And Big Black says, "Does everybody bother you as much as nobody?" Well, everybody is the opposite of nobody. It's just an extreme. So it's the use of the word rather than it's the use with the meaning behind it rather than this or that. Everybody is the opposite of nobody. Nobody is the opposite of everybody because those are
Yeah.
both extremes. It's just saying that nobody was watching the Alkalite when that's not true. That's what gets me.
I'm gonna make lesbian witch wars that was actually only as ship battles.
Yeah, and you can make it very suggestive when some of the ships look like they're scissoring. But no, Lord of the Ree. I have not said anything of the sort. I'm like, well, yes, of course it was Lord of the Ree, but at the end of the day, it's the content creators who say these things and aren't, and when they say searching for the truth or looking for the truth or whatever, and they kind of do the opposite in how they say their stuff. That's what gets
Yep.
me. It's this whole dichotomy of, yes, being a content creator, you kind of, if you do it for fun and greatness or do it for fun and for yourself, that's fine. It's hobby, all that stuff. But if you're doing it for sort of chasing after what's going on, like the 24/7 news sort of ordeal, like what's happening right now, that's a different story altogether. For me, you can't complain about another side, say they're doing all these things, and then turn around and do something of that, but differently. Or similar, but you're doing it in a different way. If that makes sense. My girlfriend, what did she say?
My girlfriend tried watching it. I watched some of it.
Objectively, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't even watched it. All I've seen is a synopsis.
Yeah.
And it's just like this is just schlop. Like,
Yeah.
there's
Of course,
nothing
yeah.
redeeming here.
Yeah.
And oh man, if I could, like, and keep in mind, I'm coming after the high that was CitizenCon over the weekend, and they showed us the first hour of Squadron 42, which is the single player game for Star Citizen.
Oh, okay.
And the first hour of gameplay, like before they played it, Chris Roberts described it as like the prologue to Gladiator. Like you got this high action prologue to the rest of the game. And it's like the first hour is this intense space battle that it feels like the climax of a movie. Like we were watching it. We streamed it over the weekend. Don't get me started there on Scam Citizen, and that we'll get there. But like we streamed it over the weekend, CitizenCon. And like I'm like, holy shit, like an actually well-written space battle. I haven't had one of these in a long time. Yeah, look, you can enjoy No Man's Sky. Like, I'm not going to shit on No Man's Sky. It's a good game, but there's no comparison. Like, what we're getting with Star Citizen is what I have now in Star Citizen is better than No Man's Sky. Well, maybe not with the servers, but, you know, that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
But in that first hour, like, there's a scene because they establish it's like, here, you have humanity's fleet protecting a planet because there's an alien species that humanity's been on and off war with for the better part of a couple hundred years.
Yeah.
And basically, like the tension is thick because your character starts off as a turret gunner on one of these destroyers.
Oh.
And it's setting up the scene of like the fleets come together. Everyone's kind of tense. They know these aliens are coming. And they say they spotted a king ship, which if you know anything about the lore, anytime these aliens come in with their king ship, which is a massive like 3-kilometer ship, anytime these are spotted in human territory, humanity loses a star system. So like it's a big deal that one of these is coming.
Wow.
And when they establish the shot, you see like the human fleet that's assembled. You got carriers, battle cruisers, all these destroyers and other support ships. They're kind of like all lined up, kind of like on their side. And you see the alien fleet kind of come in, and then in comes like the big ship, and it establishes like this thing's a big deal. And the way it sets up the tension of like, here's your two sides, whatever. And there's a scene partway through this that there's a really good contrast to The Last Jedi, because there's similar things happen. So like in The Last Jedi, you remember the very beginning where you got the big bad ship and the hotshot pilot has to go and like disable the guns so that way the bombers can kind of come in, and you got the shitty ass bombers that drop physical bombs in space, and they throw in comedy when it's not needed, and like, it totally ruins any kind of tension or anything. And so like in the scene, basically you see the big ship fire its gun. It takes out a battlecruiser in one shot. Just like splits it in half. And like the human the human admiral's kind of doing his thing. They're facing off. He's like, next time we take a hit, lower our shields an extra 30%. He's like, we're gonna lure this motherfucker in, right? So you have the tactics going on between both sides. It's establishing like, yeah, we're gonna get you, motherfucker. And so they call in the 42nd Squadron. And so it's like I said, it's kind of similar to that scene in Return of the Last Jedi. Yeah, Last Jedi, yeah. Because you see the squadron comes in from the side. They're kind of like waiting in the wings, right? Right. And they kind of come in. A similar thing. You got a hotshot pilot who kind of goes in. He opens up the shield of the big bad ship, and they have like a squadron of heavy bombers just unload all these torpedoes right into the side of it. And the difference in how it's played up, because you got the tension building between the admiral and this alien ship, that the both sides like kind of butting head. You know how dangerous this ship is. It's like established how dangerous this ship is, and just that feeling of triumph, like, yeah, we got him. And it's like, hey, this is a competently written space battle, where what we got in Star Wars is just schlock, right? They can't go 5 minutes without a Marvel joke. They can't build any tension. Nothing makes any logical sense. But the whole thing was awesome. I recommend folks go check it out. Definitely worth getting into. And we can get into how it's impossible for new players to get into, which I would say, yes, it is hard for new players to get into. This is something that developers recognize. It's not a finished game, and they know this, and it's something they're working on for the full release, which they actually outlined on Sunday, like what's coming in the full release. But there are very helpful people that will help. Like, if you're a new player in Star Citizen, you just ask around, and there's plenty of people willing to help. My group, for example, if you want to come fly with us, we'll show you how to play it. If you know Riken Knight here on Rumble, I saw him play Star Citizen on his own. I came into his chat. I'm like, hey, how's it going? And I'm like, hey, you're new to the game or returning to the game, come hop on with us tomorrow night. And he did. And when he did, I got a bunch of other random people and some of our guys. And we did a stream where we pulled a Hammerhead, which is a light corvette, is one of the larger ships in the game right now. And it's got 6 like fuck off turrets on it. Jeez. And it's like these quad, like repeating laser turrets. And so basically it's made to be a fighter screen. So any light ship that comes near this thing dies. And so we filled it. We put Riken in the top turret. And one of the guys in my group was flying escort, and all 3 of us were streaming here on Rumble. So like, you could come to my stream, which I'm flying the thing. You could go to Riken's stream, and he was gunning from the top turret, and you go to Battle's stream where he was flying escort, you could kind of swap between the different views as we're doing our thing. It was
Interesting.
awesome. It was one of the most fun moments I've had on Rumble, honestly.
Yeah.
And it's like, look, the game is hard to get into. It's hard to learn, especially because there's so much to do. And as I'm someone who has taken all the new features as they've been added to the game, as opposed to someone new who's going to be dumped into everything all at once.
Yeah.
But if you get in with people who are willing to help you, and most people are, you can have a really good time.
Yeah, no, I mean that could be the same for anything like WoW or League of Legends or whatever game is out there. You'd always come across these people who can help you along the way, because some games are harder to get into or understand than others. But yeah, I've never played it. I've never been. I mean, I played No Man's Sky. I have No Man's Sky, but I do this, and there's just not enough time in the day to play games. So there's that. But yeah, I just think if you enjoy the game you're enjoying, there's that. But it's not to say it can't be criticized, especially if you've bought into it, right? Because money is money.
Yep.
So that's understandable in that factor. But
no, I find that there's kind of three sides. There's the people that are playing the game. Then you got the people that don't play the game who thinks it's a scam. But with those people, I kind of assume they just don't know what they're talking about because they probably haven't played the game. I think their knowledge base just isn't there. Which, if people want to believe it, I don't care. Like, I'm enjoying what I do anyways. I don't care what other people think.
Yeah.
But and then there's those of us who are like, just they want the combat to be better. We want all these things to be fixed in the game. So it's like there's the people that are, you got the two sides like arguing about the game itself within the game's community, and you got the people on the outside who don't know what the hell they're talking about. Like, oh, the game's a scam. It's like, well, what do you know? Nothing. Okay, well then move along. We got bigger problems to deal with.
Yeah, it's variants of sides that I think, and that's the variance of other things in life. But no, I get it. It gets convoluted after a while because then you kind of just keep arguing about something that either you enjoy playing the game or don't. Either you want to see it succeed or don't. And again, that can apply to almost anything out there, especially Rumble and other things as well, where there's just a product is there and you use it and you enjoy it. And some people are just angry for whatever reason they want to be, and they're just downtrodden on other people who want to use it or whatever, whatever the product may be. But at the end of the day, it's your money. If you enjoy the product, there you go. If the other person didn't but paid for it, like, hopefully you're within the timeline of getting your refund back. If not, well, there you go. But at the end of the day, it's just be wise with what you spend your money on, because I don't your anger. My feeling is whatever you're angry about becomes worthless once you realize that that's not going to matter once you're 6 feet under or dust in the wind. And while there's points in your life where the anger is useful, majority of the time your anger, whatever it may be, its use is limiting. It doesn't really do much. It's more of a hindrance than it is a help. I mean, you're not going to get up and punch somebody through a computer screen. That'd be a different story altogether. But yeah, I just think there's a lot of times where people get angry over the silliest of things, and while it's understandable, they don't resolve the point of why you got angry in the first place, and that's the issue.
And that kind of leads into what I'm even doing here on Rumble in the first place, which is I run a gaming community called Part-Time Heroes, and I mainly stream on Rumble as a vehicle to drive memberships. That way we can get more people and do cooler things in games. I've got a website set up at parttimeheroes.ca. basically is kind of a landing page of guiding people to the games that we play, as well as to our Discord. And I would say we are currently the most active gaming community on Rumble. If you play, like, obviously Star Citizen is my game. We play that right now. We're kind of waiting for the new patch because right now it's a little on the rough side. But we've got guys that play Arma. We got guys that play War Thunder. We have a D&D group every other Friday or every other Saturday. Sorry. We have guys that play Space Engineers. We have guys that are starting up a Throne and Liberty guild.
Space Engineers, love the game.
We have a server.
It's been a long time since I've played that game. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. And basically my goal, and is I'm going to be doubling down on that after this weekend with everything we saw at CitizenCon.
Yeah.
My goal is to grow the group so that way we can do some really cool shit in video games and then stream it, because then maybe other people might want to see it. Maybe that'll be a security risk in game. I don't know yet. And if it is, I'll have to stop streaming. But
yeah, no, and funny enough, what you were doing is like, oh, it is that time. So it is the top of the hour. And so what happens, PoisonTaco, is that, other content creators, they kind of do the whole stuff of promoting people's stuff, either at the beginning, either at the end or whatever, or sporadic throughout. I do it at every hour I have the person on, because it's sort of just like a time thing or whatever. So you already did some part of it for your end, but if you want to promote the rest of your stuff, because I didn't have the link to your website, but I do have the link to everything else of yours, to Twitter, X, whatever.
Parttimeheroes.ca, because that links to the Rumble and the and then the Discord.
Yeah,
that's really all it is. It's just a fancier. I just turned the URL into a fancy link tree and put it together myself.
Nice.
So it's all there. We do, like, there are other creators here on Rumble that are in Part-Time Heroes. We've got Stuff Central. We've got Razio. We got HTK from the OL. NL. Next level.
NL.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I live in that.
Yeah.
So I'm also having the website linked to them as well. Maybe if Rumble starts making a little bit of money, I want to try and, if I make a little bit of money on Rumble, I want to try and experiment with putting money in advertising, because Google will block anything Rumble, right?
Yeah.
But if I advertise my website, and then I could potentially funnel people into Rumble by advertising the website.
Yeah. When I put stuff up Rumble wise, well, when I have to say the word Rumble, because they do kind of, it's sort of like the doing links on Twitter X that kind of shadow ban or de-promote you. On YouTube, they will de-promote you if you put the word Rumble in your titles and stuff. But I just do Pig Latin, and it's pretty good. Because that's like the easiest. Who doesn't know what Pig Latin is? You guys are all horrible people. But no, I'll change that link later, because since it has both your stuff, I'll just change it to the website. So I'll change it after the show. But yes, his stuff right now is down below in the description. Definitely give him a look. If he's worth a follow, give it to him. And all that stuff, because I don't try to tell people to follow. I want people to make their choice based upon if they enjoy your content. If I just tell people, hey, give this man a follow, whatever, then you lose on people enjoying your stuff and wanting to watch it.
My preference is for people to come play games with us. If you want to come play, you don't even have to watch me. You don't have to watch whatever. If you come and play, you don't even have to play the games I play. If you come and join Part-Time Heroes and be part of the group and want to play games with us as a whole, I would rather have that. Like, I know You guys know Shane or You Wrong who goes around, right?
Yeah.
It's like when I first started streaming,
Mhm.
you started hanging around the streams. But then he started playing with us. Like obviously he's playing with
Nice.
us, not watching the stream, which that's better. I enjoy that more.
Nice.
Because the ultimate goal is we get this game comes out, Star Citizen comes out, and I'm streaming us having 100, 200, I don't know how many players doing big fleet battles with like capital ships and shit. Like,
Nice.
would that be freaking awesome to see on Rumble? Maybe.
Mhm.
I don't know. It'd be awesome for me to play it,
Mhm.
but might be cool to see on Rumble too. We'll see. That's kind of all I really want, is to use this as a vehicle for driving really good gameplay. And as a result, I've also met some really good people. There's Van Whiskey,
Mhm.
who also streams Rumble on
Mhm.
Rumble, and he's got his. So I've got Part-Time Heroes. That's my organization.
Mhm.
He's got the Alpha 1099s.
Mhm.
Global Gamer, you see in chat, he's part of the Alphas.
Oh.
And so we have two reasonably sized groups that play together here on Rumble.
Nice.
And as of the weekend, we announced this during the CitizenCon thing, is we now have a formal alliance. So, and that's also including Del Norin, who also plays a lot of Star Citizen here on Rumble.
Right.
He's got his own small organization. He is part of this alliance. So now we have 3 groups that are part of an alliance. We're calling this the Rumble Alliance. And if we see any other creators and who have their own groups and everything on Rumble, if they want to be part of this, the more the better, because the world's going to be against us. So may as well band together. So I think it'll be so cool. The more people that we get, the more that we can snowball this.
Yeah.
This could like turn into like massive fleet battles where it's like all of us against, the inevitable like Twitch people that probably hate us for whatever reason they hate us. I don't know. But
yeah, no, that'd be pretty interesting to see, is bring people together in a community sort of thing. So that'd be interesting in itself. But yeah, his links are down below, and I'll make sure that we'll add your website one later. But from my end of things, right? So that I'm not just tossing everyone else out there. Whether you're on Rumble, and of course I know, sorry, you can hear me on YouTube, but you can't see us. So I'm gonna have to upload this. I'm gonna have to download this stream later from Rumble and then upload it to YouTube, because I do try to keep both sides up. But unfortunately, Rumble Studios decided to take a crap for some odd reason, so it's only showing on Rumble. But anyway, whether you're on Rumble, whether you're on YouTube, if you wouldn't mind leaving a like. Sorry.
Is that all right if I link the other guys in chat as well?
Yeah, go for it. And I'll do my thing while you
check
do that.
out Van Whiskey. Hasn't been on lately. He's been playing a lot of Grand Theft Auto RP, which he's not allowed to stream. But once he's back in Star Citizen, he'll be doing that. He's he's not a leader in the alphas, but he's up there in rank. And then I'll also link Del Norin, who we've also played with. Definitely check these guys out too. And
yeah. All right.
They are good people, and I don't know. I'm just always going to support anyone, really.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's a communal support right there. But starting back from the beginning, whether you're on Rumble, whether you're on YouTube, if you wouldn't mind leaving a like, share, follow, leaving a comment, any or all of it, doesn't matter. What matters is the engagement factor, because again, the engagement factor helps with being seen more, but it also helps with having more people on, because it's one hand that washes the other, right? More people that see, more opportunity of different people coming on. And again, I do creators and non-creators alike. So there's not really just this isn't creator spotlight time. This isn't, whatever that is. This is people coming together, have discussions about whatever, and going from there. This is not a speciality thing. This is a people, person to person sort of thing. That's why I do this. It's just a big chunk of them are content creators. So if you guys wouldn't mind on helping the engagement factor, it's much appreciated. And of course, if you want to see where else I'm at, down in the description below is my link, along with, of course, PoisonTaco's links as well. You can go down there. You can find my link. I Rumble, YouTube in that one, and of course my Discord link, my email, my Twitter X one. All those links are there. That if you'd like to take up the opportunity to come on, you can go there and find me, or you can just leave a comment on another YouTube or Rumble and go from there. Because at the end of the day, guys, this is about not only meeting new people and one day having them back on again, but also just making conversational connections with whoever, because at the end of the day, we're at a time of diverted division. We got all these things all over the place and all this stuff. We're not really sitting down, coming at the table and talking with each other. So any help with engagement was appreciated, and my links are down below if you want to check those out. So thank you so much. And I know it was a little windy, but hey, it is what it is. Hey, Lost Tales, how are you? He's doing the smart thing right there. But yes, the Rumble side is not showing, but you can hear us. No, YouTube. The YouTube side is not. It's showing the background screen. So which is this? It's only showing that, but you can hear us. So I'm definitely going to be sending support the link after this, because I fudging hate it. So whenever they do an update, right, certain functions stop working. And you have to refresh, and then you have to sign back in and do all that stuff. And I'm just like, guys, can you pick a time where you're not updating while people are still using your thing? Because it go do like Fortnite does, right? Fortnite does it like at an early morning time. I mean, yes, they make a lot more money than you, but
Rumble's
again,
not awake at that time of night.
Yes, which
recently, we all know you're screwed if you're on the West Coast.
that is true. But hopefully that changes. Otherwise, it's just going to be
It's starting to.
Yeah, because it's a pain up my. It's been a pain up my rear whenever they've done an update to Rumble Studios. And don't get me wrong, hey, the update earlier today was great, but guess what? It still needs more work. Because obviously, from my perspective, I see Rumble Studios as a golden egg, especially if you're comparing it to those other places like StreamYards, Restream, all stuff. You have to pay them to do more than just one place and a certain period of time.
I've been doing some testing with Rumble Studios.
Yes.
I want to test it again, but I've played around back when we were able to kind of put OBS into it.
Yeah.
I've been experimenting with my guys. We did a test stream a while ago, I guess when it first came out.
Yeah.
When basically we got in, I got into a ship, and we had one guy run around inside the ship, and the other guy had a turret. And then I was playing around with, say, changing the perspectives, so that way I could, in theory, have a stream where, say, I'm running a ship, a multi-crew ship, and I could have controls to flip between the different perspectives of the different guys playing. That's something I was experimenting with, which could be cool. I don't know. Maybe even good for my own tactical purposes, because then I could see what the other guys are seeing. But the issues we ran into were like audio issues. We had you have no ability of switching the different scenes if your browser isn't selected. So I have no way of using a like hotkey or anything to swap between them.
Right.
But these are all things that we tested. I sent them into Rumble and went back and forth with one of the guys in charge of Rumble Studio, actually.
Alex something. I can't remember. Erickson. Alex Erickson was the one. Yeah.
And it's like we had a really good back and forth email conversation about it. He's like, these are really cool ideas. And I showed him like what Mixer did with like the different people that could stream together. It was like, this is cool. So maybe this is something that they look into for the future. the low latency streaming is coming. Like
Mhm.
it's in beta for some people right now. I think they're still working out some of the kinks.
Yep.
So it's like they are like their Rumble is working for gamers. Like these features are coming. Like in the grand scheme of things, gaming is peanuts on Rumble, but yet they're giving us this time and attention. We just
Right.
need to be patient, and when we give them feedback, we also need to probably need to understand that they, because Rumble only has so many people and they can only be working on so many things at once.
Yes.
Maybe there's something that's important to us that they don't realize. So we need to voice that. So like, oh shit. Okay, no, you guys need, which we kind of saw that in this last week when
Silver and
Chris
Lumpy.
was on with Silver and Lumpy. It's like
Mm.
we just need to let them know. It's not like these guys are being assholes, like, oh, you can't have that. It's like they're working on it. It's just we need to help that. We need to help them help us.
Yeah.
It's this back and forth relationship.
Yeah.
And I know at times people have just been absolutely nasty to them, and it's like, stop treating them like a freaking game developer. Like, and I think the best way to go about it is just speak to them as you would any other business to business contact. Like, just basic respect, but at the same time, just be truthful. It's like, hey, this sucks. Like, this thing, it doesn't work. It is terrible service. Doesn't work. Like, you could be upfront about that. Just do so in a very candid manner.
Yeah, it's sort of like saying to whom may concern sort of thing, or this is my concern, that sort of stuff. But there are some people nasty out there, and of course they have their reasons. Some have been burned. Some were on the last partner program, and they weren't. Some of them weren't paid on time as prescribed by Rumble. So there's that, and some of them do have their reasons, and that's understandable. But at the end of the day, though, you do have these people out there. So they'll give you a great example. You do have these. So whenever Rumble Video, right, on Twitter X comes out with some sort of new update or whatever, you do have people like, oh, your UI sucks or all that stuff, and I'm like, but what about the UI sucks? And then you never hear anything back from that, and I'm just like, okay, so it's not. Maybe it's not a real person.
Yeah, but that's just typical Twitter negativity, though. You can just brush that off.
Yeah. So there are things. I mean, I'm going to be doing my own thing, and I'll talk about that later next month. Well, before we leave tonight, next month, and anyone's welcome to. Well, I already have seats filled, but anyone's welcome to join the chat on that if they wish to come. But again, before we leave tonight, I'll talk more about it. But yeah, I saw that was great. That bitrate thing came out of that, but I do think there are some things they missed out of that thing. But there's only so much you can talk about in a one setting go. And while I am, glad in a sense, Silver Fox was there because he did make the video that kind of sparked off the gaming on Rumble, and of course, Lumpy's sort of seen as the face of it. My thing, however, is that it should not. It should, whether or not Chris trusts the people, which is understandable, it should be changing each month. Like, Chris should be going to different content creators and having a sit down with them, saying, okay, so what is it? Because this is a great opportunity for the CEO, right? Chris, the CEO, to get different perspectives from different parts of the platform that people use. But it's just mostly going to be used for the gaming. And I get it, right? Gaming's a big chunk. That's what Twitch is supposed to be about and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, it's more than just gaming. My personal feeling, I don't want gaming to be another monolith. The big one on Rumble, right?
Okay, if gaming is another monolith, however, if they put the time and energy to get gaming going, it will be able to sustain itself. Right? And this is kind of like what I'm seeing this year, right? They only have so many resources, they only have so many people as a relative. In the tech space, they're a small company.
Yeah.
And let's be realistic here, right? As much as I would love for Rumble to focus on gaming, more than they have been very recently.
Yeah.
You have to be realistic, right? What is their bread and butter? It's the political stuff, right?
Yeah, for right now.
And And when you have an election season, when debate night brings 1 million plus people into Rumble,
Yep.
you can't blame them for supporting that, because
Yeah.
that's where your money is, right? That's how
Yeah.
you survive as a company. If you didn't do that, your shareholders would be like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
Well, they already
Which
do
they
that
are.
now.
Well, they are publicly traded, right? Well, they'd be doing more so, right?
Yeah.
And they have people on their board. And a lot of them are going to be guys that just don't know much about gaming in general, right?
Mm.
And they'd be like, "Why are you putting all this?" And I bet you some of them are going, "Why are you putting all this time into video games?"
Mm.
I guarantee you those conversations are happening. I
Yeah.
guarantee you, we see the one side. I guarantee you, Chris is probably going to the other side, talking to people that are on more on the business side, and they're going, "Why are you putting all this time and energy into gaming?" Because they're not going to understand it. They don't know what Twitch is. They don't understand it. And and I know I think Rick is the one that has been pushing for gaming since he started working at Rumble.
Mm.
And I think Chris is probably on board now, but still, it's like they have to go and make this business case for it, right?
Yeah.
And when you look at the facts and you see on an average night, gaming has less than 1,000 people watching it.
Yeah.
There's 500,000 in podcasts and political shows and whatever.
Mm.
You sit there in the boardroom and you got guys going like, "The fuck is wrong with you? Why are you focusing so much on this one little piece?" Right?
Hmm.
So there's definitely I don't know if this is for a fact, but I can only imagine there's definitely there's other conversations that they have to have within the company to justify the things that they're doing, right?
Yeah.
Like the low latency stuff. Steven Crowder does not need low latency streaming. Dan Bongino does not need it. They don't give a shit. They don't read the chat.
Or
right?
they can't. Well, especially for Dan Bongino, I don't think you could read that chat at all. That's crazy.
But still, they don't care. That's not for them.
Mm.
So
go ahead.
So it's like, yeah, we can sit here and be like, "Oh, we wish they could do more for us." And it's like, I guarantee you, there's so many more conversations that they need to have on their end to make anything work. And the fact that they are trying for us, I think is a lot. And it's like they want to make it succeed, and we need to help them help us. It's like when Silver Fox put out his video, and my response was like, "Look, we don't need a multi-million-dollar solution here. We shouldn't get a multi-million-dollar solution. We don't need money thrown at the problem, right?"
Yes.
And what they did immediately in response, like next day, Chris was on it, like responding to Silver Fox's video, and they made the gaming on Rumble Twitter, where they're just retweeting everybody, putting a message out there, and all the things. It's like, yes, this is what we need. Not throwing money around everywhere like wastefully.
Yeah.
It is something as small and simple as a Twitter that a couple people, 2 or 3 people can manage. Great, cool. It's little things like that. And it's like the point that I've raised is, we could sit here and criticize Kick for being what it is, for all the issues that it has. I guarantee you, there's reasons I'm not on Kick. I'm sure there's reasons you don't care about Kick. But at the end of the day, you know what Kick is, right? You know that you know that people are on it, and you know that in gaming circles, it's on a lot of people's radar. They know there is an alternative to Twitch.
Yes.
Right? Rumble isn't there. Most people don't know what Rumble is.
Yep.
Right?
It's a lot of stuff that needs to be and of course, during that conversation with Silver and stuff, he did say he did recognize that one of the big things I was glad about was they're ending the contractual stuff, right? Ending the contractual with big look. It was an understandable idea because you needed more eyes on Rumble because that's the thing of the unknown thing, right? But then you had these to some degree.
If I was to pick someone that deserves the contract, it'd be the quartering.
Well, yeah.
because I think out of anyone that they've made a contract with, he's the only one who actually went around and tried to get other creators onto Rumble. And he actively tried to push people. He still does. He does try to push people from YouTube to Rumble. And out of anyone that they've signed, I've seen him put in the effort. In my mind, he deserves to have he deserves something, just to be frank. But
Yep.
For a lot of the others that were contracted onto Rumble, I would say waste of space. They showed up, they phoned it in.
Well, Crowder did try to push Rumble. There's that. Crowder did try to push Rumble. You know, whenever they got, so would say, you know, if you hear this
He did,
thing,
but
yeah,
he's a big boy. He can stand up on his own 2 feet.
yeah, obviously.
And he's still going to stay on Rumble because Rumble's the only platform that won't ban him.
Yeah, it's just the Mizkifs, the Sneakos, all those people. I mean, for me, one of the, I don't know if they have them contract or not, but having Nerdrotic on here kind of helps bring the pop culture stuff over because he's well known on YouTube for being pop culture, and they kind of need more of that. They have the geeks and gamers who are multi-streaming to Rumble. They're multi-streaming to Rumble. At the end of the day, you want those kind of creators over here to help kind of, if you're not going to if the political stuff is going to be your better butter, then you at least want to bring on people over, or at least have people use the platform
I'm okay with them sweetening the pot, but honestly, it's like, maybe that's what they should do instead. Like, hey, big creators, anytime, maybe if you can get, it's like, put in a stipulation. If you can get more people to watch you on Rumble than on YouTube, throw in some kind of bonus, like put in some kind of like monetary incentive.
I think that's what the Rumble creator program is going to be, because that's what he was talking about, right? It's not just going to be for small creators. It's going to be for an array of different variety of creators, which is great because you do want the pushers for your platform to get the incentive, right? It's an incentive. You want an incentive for people to push Rumble. Now, of course, part of that is the tech side, and that's where Rumble has to keep up its end, the feedback and stuff, which it would be nice to know that they're having a centralized area of getting their feedback instead of just from Twitter X. I mean, it is a centralized area, but it'd be best if they could do it on their platform rather than someone else's, because that's traffic.
Okay, so we know that Rumble has been throwing around money and all lately, right? If they maybe spent $70,000, maybe $80,000 a year, they could hire someone. They could come in, and it's their job to go through Twitter, go through all these comments, put all the feedback together, and then when they have the meetings, that person goes and is like, "This is what the community is talking about."
Yeah.
They call these people. They call it. Community manager. He's a community manager. They need one of those.
Yeah, and running.
Don't throw $1 million at these creators that are a waste of space.
Yeah.
Spend a fraction of that and get someone whose job it is to collect all the feedback properly. Everybody does this. I don't know why they don't have that. It's like you got guys that are like Rick, who are basically almost like the public face half the time.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, he's awesome, but at the end of the day, it's not his job.
Yeah. Definitely shouldn't be.
It's not his job to be the community manager, which he does the best with what he has. And it is great. It is appreciated, but people also need to realize, if you bug him too much, you're overworking the poor guy.
Yeah.
He cares, but at the same time, everyone's human. You can only pester someone so much.
Yeah, and I really would like. I don't want to say I would like. I really would like to take that stress off of Rick, because as like you said, he is the face of all the updates and stuff. And while it's great, I'm pretty sure he enjoys getting out the updates. I feel like there's possibly, but at the end of the day, I think, which is weird. But I think
I think it's Mario, personally.
Oh, he's a little too happy about that. Part of chat. Okay. Yeah. No, my thing is they need to stop giving, because again, Twitter X is still a competitor. Whether they could be for the free speech stuff, whatever, but Twitter X is still a competitor to Rumble, and Rumble needs to have their spot on their own platform to where they can have that sort of feedback, like the whole. So we know that they're going to try to integrate locals and Rumble, right? So that's going to be one, and that could lead to being a data collection place for them to look at and say, okay, so we're collecting data not only from Twitter X, but from our own website, and saying, okay, so this is what a majority of our consumers, creators want, and then go from there. Because I think that would work best, is trying to find what the majority want from the platform, instead of hearing all these bits and noises, what all these different people want. Because again, like you said, there's only a certain amount of people, only a certain amount of resources that they can work with, and we don't want these poor people to work to death, basically, because otherwise you won't have a platform. But X is a great place X is a great place to advertise and interact, but agree that complaints and requests need to be, yes, exactly, because Rumble needs that traffic. Rumble needs to keep that traffic, and it's not keeping that traffic, or interaction traffic, whichever. But again, that could come from the integration between locals and Rumbles. It was great. It was also great to hear during that conversation with Chris was on, is that he eventually wants to get rid of the editor picks, which is great.
Yeah.
I'd like that gone too. It doesn't need to exist. It did beforehand because Rumble wasn't there, right? It wasn't up to the point. But the leaderboard, right? What is there any? Does Twitch have a leaderboard? Does YouTube have a leaderboard? Most of the time, I just see trending as their sort of leaderboard, like what's trending. But I don't know. Do other platforms have a leaderboard? They still have a leaderboard. Why not get rid of that? Rose chat is different. What happened? What do you mean? What it's different? Chat is different. What happened? I don't know what it means. Why it's different.
They updated it. They apparently made it faster. I'm not too sure.
Oh, is that the latency thing? That's probably the latency thing.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's probably what screwed over the YouTube side. Sorry, guys. If you can hear me, you can hear me over there, but you can't see me, unfortunately. But then I didn't ask to be in the beta, so I don't know. And didn't see any difference. Well, who knows? Maybe it's just a good night. But no, you were going to say something, so apologies for that.
All right, Blip and a Blap. The origin of my username comes from when I was 12 years old playing Halo 2 on Xbox Live. I thought it was hilarious when I killed people. In the kill tracker, it said they were killed by a PoisonTaco. And the name just evolved from there. That's really all it is. It just stuck. And it felt wrong going by anything else.
Wow, I was gonna ask where that came from, PoisonTaco. But yeah, that's I've never played Halo, but I remember when Rooster Teeth.
What the shit? You haven't played Halo?
No, I didn't have an Xbox. I mean, I had more PlayStation, Sega, Nintendo stuff.
You should get Master Chief Collection and go join Amish when he does the Halo thing on Rumble. I
have barely any time at all to play games anymore because of the thing I do. I enjoy doing this more. I mean, I'd love to continue playing Satisfactory, but at the end of the day, I'm doing this thing, and making shorts and stuff. They take up my time. I have a full-time job too.
Yeah.
So I don't.
Well, I also work for a living. I kind of hope that with the partner program, the new revamped partner program, they do take that into consideration. That was kind of my feedback and my wish from the second round that they did, because I work full time. I've also got family commitments.
Yep.
2 hours a day for 5 days a week.
Yeah.
Was a bit restrictive because it basically locked down most of my evenings during the week.
Yep.
But It's like I could put in the same amount of hours.
Mhm.
Like before that partner program, my preference was doing like streaming 3 days a week, maybe 4.
Mhm.
But I would stream like 12 hours a week,
Mhm.
right? In my session, I would have longer sessions, whereas the partner program mandated 2-hour sessions 5 days a week.
Yeah.
So I hope that whatever it turns into allows for the kind of flexibility. It's like I know there's other people on Rumble too, like Gamer Grill and Gamer Error,
Mhm.
like them, like they're awesome, they're great, right? But at the end of the day, they're a couple and they have young children,
Mhm.
so they only get to stream however many days a week. Yeah, it seems like they made the partner program work,
Mhm.
but like I think they're great. I think they deserve to do what they do because people like them, and I think there should be some flexibility allowed for people like that, people that do put in the time and effort and the work, but it's just I just hope that is cognizant of the fact that a lot of us who are small and getting started,
Mhm.
uh, we have day jobs, we have
Mhm.
family commitments, and when life needs get in the way, the first thing to go is streaming.
Luxury. The first thing that goes is luxury, and
Yes.
this is a luxury of sorts, right? I mean, if you make a little money off it, that's fine, but
Yeah.
this whole streaming thing, this whole content creation thing, it's a luxury.
Yeah. So until Rumble can pay the bills,
Mhm.
it's a luxury. Like we're all doing this in our spare time,
Yeah.
and this is actually the basis of Part-Time Heroes. We
Mhm.
are kicking ass. Like our slogan is kicking ass in 20 hours or less a week.
Mhm.
Um, the whole idea of Part-Time Heroes is we want to do cool stuff in games and we want to be organized and good at what we do, but we
Mhm.
don't want to turn it into your full-time job, which
Yeah.
I know like a lot of World of Warcraft and other MMO guilds, they tend to work their members to the bone sometimes.
Mhm.
And they have like demand, like a lot of them are demanding of others to the point where it's damaging to their personal lives. We don't
Yeah.
like in Part-Time Heroes, we don't want that.
Mhm.
And I have the same mentality going into streaming. Yes, there are people here on Rumble who have the time to do this during the day, which is great. They have their lives positioned at a point where they are able to do that, which
Mhm.
they've been able to do that. That's awesome for them, right?
Mhm.
And but on the other side of it too, there's those who are doing this in their spare time and they're
Mhm.
doing what they can, but at the end of there's only so many hours in the day,
Yeah.
and there is a huge gap between those who can do this full time and those who do it on the side,
Mhm.
right? And it's like, and it's not so much like, oh, the people that are doing or streaming casually or whatever should be given a handout. No,
Yeah.
it's that Rumble is responsible for bringing people into the platform.
Mhm.
Those who are streaming are responsible for getting people on the platform to come and watch them.
Yeah.
Like that's fair, right?
Mhm.
But it's kind of, we're in this like weird chicken and egg situation where I think there isn't there, to put it to a different terminology. Let's call the audience the market cap, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
I think guys like Lumpy and Silver Fox in the gaming space, they're at the market cap,
Mhm.
right? They've basically captured all the people that will frequent gaming on Rumble.
Mhm.
Because if you're on Rumble long enough, you're gonna bump into their streams.
Yep.
Pretty much.
And I've
And
had them both on to
yeah,
just be aware.
and and so they're the ones trailblazing.
Mhm.
That's just how it is, which is
Mhm.
great. Which once we get to the point and they have hundreds of thousands of people following them instead of 2,000, All the power to them. They deserve every bit of it. But the gaming audience on Rumble is peanuts. All you have to do is open up Kick, and one game will dwarf anything in gaming on Rumble.
Fortnite.
Not even Fortnite. You know what? Let's look right now. Let's look right now.
Well, while you're doing that, I need to use the restroom real quick. I'll be right back.
Oh, there's more in the background there. You can see the sword and the Pico.
I've left the presentation up if you want to show something. So there you go.
Okay, we got Big Benny's, got Noodle Box, Space Noodles. Let's see. We're going to Kick. We're looking at the Kick. Yeah, let's do it. Do. What did No Man's Sky come out with? Like anything noteworthy in this No Man's Sky update? We're gonna go to the categories. I am from British Columbia. I live in northern BC, to be specific.
Nice. Where are you from, Poison? Yeah, no, that's what happens when you drink a lot of water. Listening to this stream while checking out the new... Oh, yeah, that's right. They did come out with a new update. The cursed one, I believe.
I remember one time I looked at this just to prove a point, and I saw on Kick there was 800 people in the category just sleeping, and at the time there was 400 people watching video games on Rumble, and it's like, I'm like, guys, there are more people on Kick watching motherfuckers sleep than there are people watching video games on Rumble.
Wow.
Just a fact, right? Okay, so I'm on Kick. Let's go through categories. How many people are on gaming on Rumble right now? 642. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. There are 632 people watching Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. How old is that one? That one's like 2 years old now, right?
I would think so.
Or is that last year's game? I don't know Call of Duty. Like fucking piece of shit game.
Right.
Like me.
Hey,
okay, 634 on VTubers. 700 people watching Overwatch on Kick. There's more people watching one game category on Kick than there is in the entirety on Rumble. 200K watching Minecraft, where the top category. So, and this is Kick. This isn't Twitch. This is Kick. This is the platform that we can sit here and criticize for being borderline illegal.
And bots. The bot thing too on that one.
Yeah. Like, yeah, there are bots. Yeah, like, you know, it has its issues, but Rumble has bots too. I was featured twice in the past week, once during CitizenCon and once the other day. And the amount of, I got more spam than anything.
Yeah.
Because all it did was attract more attention from spam. I had like all the spam bots going like, oh, Trump. It's like, as much as I think Trump should get in, I don't want that spam all over my channel.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and the thing is, it's still in the comments as well, the spam stuff. But I mean, to his credit, Chris did try to explain that even every time we try to solve the problem, they get smarter.
Yep.
They get faster. And that's what's going to happen with the future is bots. I mean, that's probably why people talk about, you know, the whole internet is dead theory, because the more the technology gets better, the quicker these bots, so to speak, and bots have been around forever, right? Well, not forever,
Oh,
but
yeah.
they've been around for a long time. People use them maliciously to take over a computer, to use as a zombie and all that stuff. The point of the matter is that bots are going to be anywhere. Now, it seems like YouTube has gotten a fix because there aren't as much spam in the comments or in the chats. But at the end of the day, that's a huge monolith in its own right. And so Rumble's at a resource disadvantage rather than anything else. But I do think at the end of the day, it's going to be uphill battle. Like, again, same with Kick, same with Twitch. It's still always going to be an uphill battle. But stop spam and spamming. Okay.
Well,
You take it.
that would help. It wouldn't stop it, but it might help.
Possibly. But again, he said every time we try to do, they get smarter. And that's the issue right there, is that these bots, these AI bots, I think he said, is that they get smarter. And the more the technology goes on, the worse it's just going to get. And so I think that's why people keep bringing up the internet is dead theory. Because sooner or later, it's looking like it. But let's see. Difference between PS5 and PC aren't super noticeable. By the way, it's on sale. Oh, you're talking about No Man's Sky. Okay. It would stop it for about 5 seconds. Okay. Yeah, and I haven't played No Man's Sky in a while. It's been a while. Again, I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time to play games, but I enjoy doing this more. I enjoy getting to talk to people more. Games are sort of just something that is just a little bit, but yeah. I wish for Rumble success too. It's nice that they're doing this thing, and all that stuff. Bots are. Oh, here we go. Bots are tricky to fight on a website. Even Google has problems with bots. Yeah, I can agree with that.
So you know what might actually help.
What do you mean?
So you got. So say, let's be generous. On average, there's 1,000 people watching video games on Rumble.
Okay.
Right. If no one's being featured, if no one in gaming is being featured, it's under 1,000. So let's round it up to 1,000 just for playing with numbers, right? Okay. So on average, there's about 1,000 people watching gaming on Rumble. Crowder will bring in 200,000 to 300,000 people who come in, watch his stream, and then leave the website. You get Bongino, same thing, 200,000 to 300,000 people. They come in, watch a stream, and they dip, right?
Yeah.
Now, Rumble, who has the connections, which I believe Bongino is an investor, so they definitely have the connections.
Yeah.
Get someone like Chris, like Rick, one of these guys who are the faces on Rumble. Go spend 10, 15, maybe 30 minutes on these shows. And go, hey, not like, talk about the other sections you're trying to promote, right? Because, okay, so let's take 300,000 people, right? If 2% of the people watching Steven Crowder, which I think his audience tends to be a little bit on the younger side, right? Relatively speaking, right?
Well, yeah. I'll go with relatively.
Like 30s, 40s, whatever, right?
Yeah.
So if 2% of Crowder's audience decided, you know what, maybe I will go check out gaming, right? Yeah, we'll go check it out, right? 2% of 300,000 is going to be what? 12,000 people?
My math not so good. I'm
going to do the actual math here.
You're asking me to do something I did not learn very well back in the day.
No, no, 2% would be 18,000.
That's not bad.
Right? So, but no, here's the difference this could make, right? So think about the difference it would make if the gaming section, instead of constantly being 1,000 people, say that 18,000 comes over and they're regularly watching gaming, right? And let's just say, for numbers' sake, there's 20,000 people. So by a factor of 20, that's there, right? So by a factor of 20, by that logic, Silver Fox and Lumpy would be like what, 40K?
Mm-hmm.
40K viewer, if you 40K followers, right? Think about, okay, so even then, that's more people participating in chat, which benefits the creator. More people who are following them, who are helping, or like, liking the tweets, resharing, whatever, right?
Right.
It helps get that snowball moving, right? It could be enough to get some of that stuff churning, because if the creators are like, hey, let's post stuff, whatever, it gets that action moving. And I'm also being generous with the numbers, right? If Chris went on Steven Crowder and be like, hey, you should check out video games, right? You know what? Because Crowder, Crowder talks about serious stuff all the time. He does silly things all the time too. Yep. Get him to spend 5 minutes on screen going like, oh, let's check out and see who's playing video games, or check out the gun section or whatever, the other categories, right? Check out these other creators, because then you're kind of teaching the people that are coming to Rumble for them to start going, oh, maybe I should also check out other sections of the website too.
So my issue is that those people, Crowder, Bongino, they can't be forced to do that.
They can't be, but it's worth asking. It's worth trying.
Asking, yes. But if they don't do it, if they say no, or
here's the thing though. I'm thinking of ideas that don't cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's like, look,
it's time.
Get that out there, because like I said, if 2% of their viewer base is like, oh, maybe I should go check it out, right? That's not a lot. That's nothing, right? When you talk about the ideas of like building up email lists that people like get into like drop shipping and stuff like that, typically like when you send out emails to people like, hey, come buy this thing, about 2% will click on it and actually buy it. So if you have 100,000 people on an email list and you're if you have an email list and you're like sending, you're spamming people with ads to buy stuff, but like 1 to 2% of people will click and buy and whatever, and that's how some of these guys make a bunch of money.
Yes.
But if we're being generous and use those low ball numbers, even that would do so much more. So like, because right now you're looking at the gaming section, not even 600 people right now, right? And you compare it to Kick, and it's nothing. Absolutely, even without the bots, it's nothing. And just going around and just getting the word out there, which go on these big shows on Rumble, like, because it's like Rumble, sell yourself, right? This is all part of marketing. Go out there and sell yourself. Let people know that you exist. Rumble shouldn't just be the Bongino show, the Crowder show. It's like, yes, you're watching them on Rumble, but a lot of people treat Rumble as, oh, this is where I go to watch these guys.
Right. But that also goes back to your point of the board meeting and Chris going to them to try to sell. That goes back to that point of that, where...
Well, at the end of the day, Rumble needs to advertise itself. And and at the end of the day, Rumble needs to market itself, because you know what YouTube does? If you post links and stuff, if you post links and stuff on YouTube, you get hit by the algorithm, because YouTube doesn't want you clicking off site. YouTube wants you to click on the next video, which is what Rumble needs to do. Rumble should want you to click on the next video once you're done. Once you're done watching these other people, they want the recommendation algorithm to kick in, so that way you click on the next video, so that way you watch another ad, and then everybody gets paid.
Yeah.
That's the business side.
or they buy into premium, and that gets spread out to all the different creators as well on YouTube.
However that works, but
Yeah.
Rumble needs to self-advertise because I keep going back to Kick.
Mhm.
You know, for all the shit that Kick is, everyone everyone knows what Kick is because Kick actually advertises themselves.
Mhm.
Rumble does not, and they should, because like just on a pure numbers game, if 1% of the viewer bases of those big shows was
Mhm.
decided one day, but you know what, I should go check out gaming, right? They don't have to flood to me, they don't have to flood to Silver, they don't have to flood
Yeah.
to any of that. Just, they go and they find the people that they like, and it's on us to be appealing to them, to provide them with content they want to see. But if 20,000 people went into gaming regularly,
Mhm.
that would be a game changer. That would be enough to get people for the creators to actually start to build these followings, to get like maybe dozens of people to
Right.
help retweet, do all those things, and get those engines on the algorithm going.
Right. Well, and that's why multi-stream, because that's also showcasing off the capabilities of Rumble, right? Rumble Studios. Well, I don't have. I've paid for the thing, so the Rumble Studios watermark's not up there. But that's why I do my pay it forward streams, because I give more support to the live stream section during my pay it forward streams, is showing that off, that there is more than just the politics. But that's where it comes to the whole Silver Fox Lumpy thing, right? Chris, I had someone on who works for the local side, and I didn't know that until she came on and told me, because I wasn't paying attention to that. But she told me, Chris is a very busy guy. He's a CEO, right? CEOs are very
Yep.
busy. However, a long time ago, do you remember he did that Rumble Raid thing with Flawed TV?
Yeah.
Right. My thing is, you don't have to do $10,000, but my thing is, don't do the once a month thing with the gaming thing. That's the idea is great itself, but it shouldn't just be to gaming. That's where, like you were saying earlier, it should be going around to different content creators.
Focusing on gaming isn't bad. And also throwing, and this kind of goes back to where I think just throwing money at people
Mm,
isn't a great solution.
mm,
And for example, say they're going around throwing $10,000 at a night for 10 nights, 100,000, whatever, $100,000, right? Let's go
mm,
with that, $100,000,
right.
right? You have $100,000, and through 2 partner programs, you've got maybe a handful of creators, maybe 50 to 100 creators that you've kind of picked. You have some kind of rapport with.
Mm,
Let's say you got $100,000, right?
mm,
With that $100,000, the best thing you could do, instead of just picking random creators and throwing money at them, this is what I would do. I would take that $100,000 and go to Corsair or Logitech or Razer,
mm,
any of these peripheral manufacturers, and
mm,
I would call them up and I would go, "Hey, Logitech, I want $100,000 worth of keyboards, mice, headsets, whole shebang."
mm,
They would probably go, "Cool, sounds like a plan." Um, and then you get all that gear, right?
mm,
And then I would go to the creators and go, "Hey, we're doing a giveaway.
mm,
We're going to bring you as partners on board." And so, and Rumble, you spend a little bit of money on advertising, you pay for some tweets, and you go around doing the whole thing, right? You advertise this shit, do a giveaway, and figure out the mechanics of the giveaway. And you go and you convince people that, or rather, you figure out the mechanics of the giveaway of like, "Hey, go to Rumble, and our partner creators are giving away mice, keyboards, headsets, or whatever. go to Rumble, find a creator, and maybe they'll give you they'll have a code. You get the code, you put it in, you enter the giveaway, right? And so what that would do is that would entice people to come to Rumble and find creators, right? And because you're doing this, because you're putting in a buy order with someone like Logitech or Razer or whatever, guess what? That peripheral manufacturer is in on it too. So not only are you convincing gamers, come check it out, come get free shit, you might get them to stick around and stay and watch gamers. You also build up connections with these manufacturers who do sponsorships, they do partners, right? You're letting them know Rumble is a viable platform. You also have so you're kind of helping build those connections with the companies and the creators. So instead of just blindly throwing $100,000 at the creators, and with my idea here, you're kind of getting everyone on board because the goal is to grow everything.
Yes, it is.
Right?
Then not only your creators and users, but the tech side of it as well, because that's part of the issue.
You're bringing in people to the platform. You are potentially building a relationship between creators and the manufacturer, which also comes with a whole host of contacts and stuff like that. You're also showing to these companies that Rumble is a platform worth looking into. You are and you're also making you would also make the creators work for it too. You're not just giving them, you're investing in your creators, but you're not giving them a handout.
Yeah.
Right?
I can see where you're trying to.
You're basically going, hey, this is to help grow, but you also have to do in work. We're doing our part. You have to do your part. Right? Because this 600 number that I keep going back to, this has been the same since last summer. It hasn't grown. When someone is featured, it doesn't count. Like, look, I was featured on Monday. 1,800 people were watching the stream. You can't convince me they weren't bots. I'm not that popular. Like, I don't care. I'm not that popular. So, it's going to take effort on both sides. It's going to take effort on our side, and it's going to take effort on Rumble's side.
I think it was going to work, so it took 15 years to do anything. Well, Rumble's only been around since 2013, so it's been 11 years. So that wouldn't be accurate time-wise. I get it. My thing is it needs to be strategic marketing, right? Like, I get the gaming thing. I get you want one thing to lead to another. It's just my feeling, again, coming from earlier, is I just don't want gaming to be another monolith, which politics is.
It doesn't need to be a monolith, but if Rumble wants these other categories to grow, they need to develop a formula for kind of
marketing. A form of marketing.
I would say like some kind of incubation, because if you look at these other categories, right? Music is at 1,000. Like the top, let's go through the top categories. News 100,000, trending news 50,000, podcasts at 40K, Republican politics 40K. Like your top categories are consistently politics.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
So and gaming should be easy, but gaming as a whole hasn't grown. In fact, I would say it's gotten a little bit smaller because the creator base has shrunk. A lot of the good creators that were on regularly about a year ago, there's less of them now than there's less of them than there are now.
Right.
Because there's just all forms of attrition. You got people that have lost faith in the platform, which is fair. You have people that have had real life hit them in the butt. Also fair. And you have other people that just have changing priorities, changing interests. Maybe they don't want to stream anymore. Also fair. But what is Rumble doing to entice more people to come in and create content? Right?
Yeah, it's just the development of having something strategic, but while also listening on the feedback factor. Because I think, again, like you saw with the whole Silver Fox thing, is like you were saying earlier, they didn't know some things. They didn't know about the Rumble Studios bitrate thing, right? I think that was one of the things there too.
Like what would happen? What would happen? Like, say one of these top guys in gaming right now, say, God forbid, they have a family emergency.
Yeah.
And they have to leave for an extended period of time, say 6 months, and they have to take care of a loved one. Not that, we want that to happen to them, but say like a moment happens to them, right? And say, what are you left with? What are you left with on the gaming side of Rumble? Like, who is there to fill that gap?
I don't know. I'm not a business person. I am not of the marketing idea. I just do what I can that I think may help, and that's just trying to show off Rumble's capabilities and showing off during my Pay It Forward stream that there's more than just a political side. But yes, it is on Rumble to kind of get past the politicalness. That's part where that recommendation engine, personalization engine comes in to help, because they didn't have that before, right? Like, what was it, like a year ago they didn't have that, and now this year they've started. I think Chris said, what was it? Chris said it's every three weeks. I think it's every few weeks. He said, but it's just not there yet. Not. But yeah, I look. It's gonna take, like you said, it's gonna take effort on both sides, and it's gonna take more of those things. But it's also gonna take more than just relying on one place to do it, like the gaming factor. I know gaming is the gateway and all that stuff, but think of it this way: DIY. I've heard a lot of people talk about not having a DIY of things, or how to do it things, or tutorial things. That's another factor right there itself. But that's not being explored. It's just the gaming factor, and that's why.
Okay, so if they grow one other major section, when you move on to the next one, you then have more to sell. Because say they get gaming going. Obviously gaming's not at where. Say gaming's not even where politics is, but say gaming has 40,000 people watching it instead of 700, where politics is at 300K, right? Well, that's two. You now have two things to sell Rumble on. You have politics and you have video gaming. So when you move to the next area of focus, because at that point gaming can stand on its own feet, you've gotten that snowball rolling. You only have to maintain it a little bit when it needs to, but they're going, right? And then you move on to DIY, as you say. Say you start going around to the DIY crowd, you talk to the creators, then you go, hey, what do you need? All that kind of thing, right? And then when you start to advertise Rumble to the DIY crowd, instead of so people go like, oh, well, Rumble has just politics and video games. That's still a lot better of a sell than just, oh, Rumble has politics. Right? So you got to get, I would say, get a winning formula for one other category, which I would say gaming is a good place to start, because that's where they're getting really good feedback. That's where they found a group that's so needy. Like, we are needy motherfuckers. Get that going, and you have a formula which you can then use for the next category, and then the next category.
Yeah, and I can understand that, but at the end of the day, they have a clock they're working against, right? Because they're still competing against YouTube. They're still competing against Twitch. They're competing against Kick too, but they're also competing against Odyssey, and just like you saw, BitChute. I don't know about
Yeah.
BitChute and gaming or whatever. They're competing against a lot of different platforms, and they're in the game of catching up, and that's another issue.
Okay. So how about instead of chasing an audience that doesn't exist yet, you take the one you already have that's already coming to the platform and
Politics.
try to convince them, even a small portion of them, like I said, pure numbers game, right?
Mm.
200 300,000 people coming to watch Bongino. Convince 2% of that to stick around and try out other categories. Just that 2% is enough to make a difference. It's enough to get the social, like I said, the social media gears turning. It's enough to give those creators like just enough to get started.
Mm-hmm.
We're not talking about like, you know, turning everybody into superstars. We're talking about like, you know, giving them something to work with.
Yeah, you again, it's about trying to get more notice on the platform and all the other stuff. But again, that's going to be a time factor, and that's going to partly of that's going to work against them because again, they're 11 years in, while other platforms have.
They gotta promote themselves. They gotta get
Yes.
themselves
Well,
out
yeah,
there.
no, they do got to promote themselves, and while you say they can promote gaming, they're not. They just got to do a better job of promoting themselves, which is going to be a interesting faction. But yeah,
Which
well,
was as soon as they get the low latency stuff working, they
yeah.
should be. It's like, come on, once they have low latency, it's like you have a good product now. Go start selling it. Because at the end of the day, outside politics, the free speech angle I think only applies to politics. Because what does a lefty have to worry about on Twitch? Like,
Well,
look at that one. Look at that one. Like, if you're a lefty, you can say any kind of horrible thing out there, and you'll still be there. You don't have to worry about being censored.
yeah, well, yeah, that's true. Well, then you have the e-thought stuff. That's a different story.
Mm.
That's a different story for Twitch, though. Yes, podcast news. No, I do no Dab Killer. I'm trying to explain. I do a podcast, yes, but it's not news. I'm trying to get that across that I'm not news. I'm a podcast. Yes, but I am not news. Sometimes I talk about stuff that's going on, but not always. So I don't consider myself news. I just consider myself a conversational podcast. That's it. But no, yeah, there's again coming to the full closure because I need to start getting off because I got to set up for tomorrow.
No worries.
And it's great. These conversations need to happen, and it can't just be Silver Fox Lumpy with Chris. It needs to be more than that. And the more data they can get to collect is probably better than just doing once, that sort of thing. But that's just a personal perspective. I don't know the true answer. I can only give what I see on my end and hope for the best, right? Because I've said this many times before. I will praise Rumble when it does well, and I will admonish it when it does poorly. But that's mostly based on perspective. And and you know what? I'm here for the long fall. I've invested in the future, the future possibility of Rumble, because it's there, and of course the future is always there. This is all news to me. Well, that's great, but I'm not in the news, so take what you will out of that. But I am not the news. I am a free-flowing conversational podcast.
Fake news. It's all fake news.
Fake. Oh, that's gonna be a long night ahead. Jeez. But yes, but no, but yeah, I definitely again, love perspective. Yeah, I love perspective too because I think we need more of it, and we need more diverse conversation rather than just this is what the industry is doing today. Because not everything has to be about what today is unless it's like super important, like a disaster or something like that. The Helena stuff, those important things. But if it's just about Ubisoft and Acolyte, yeah, I could care less. Well, actually, I don't really care at all. But at the end of the day, there's always more to converse with. And of course, we are at the top of the hour again. And so we're going to end it, at that point. But we're going to still do a few things before we leave. So if you want to promote yourself, good sir, you're more than welcome to.
Obviously, you can check my channel, PoisonTaco.
Mhm.
I also run Part-Time Heroes. I have all the links down there. Go to parttimeheroes.ca, which I'll put in the chat.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
There's my website. Our gaming community is there. If you scroll down, my name is there, which that takes to all the Rumble stuff too. But you also use Rumble to find me on Rumble, because you're all on Rumble. But
it's funny.
It's all there. We play video games. Come play with us. We're the most active community on Rumble.
Compared to the others of the Alliance?
Yeah, I would say we have a little bit more going on than the 1099s, but they're cool too. A few of them have been playing with us, kind of like in the little bit of a lull with Star Citizen right now. But
right, and that's understandable because you said there was a patch thing that's coming out.
A little rough at the moment.
Yeah, and that's understandable. But yes, his links are down below, and of course, I will try to add your website link later because I know that's where you put your stuff in. So I'll try to do that. But yeah, no, it's been awesome having you out. And of course, from my end of things, whether you're on Rumble or whether you're on YouTube, if you wouldn't mind leaving a like, sharing the stuff, leaving a follow, leaving a comment, any or all of it, anything that helps with the engagement is much appreciated because, again, that helps with then not only being seen more, but also having more and different people on because, again, one hand washes the other. And it's what I enjoy doing, and I'm looking forward. Again, I have 2 weeks left in November that are still open. So, you know what? There's something here that something's here. Something's here. So, if you guys want to help out with that and bringing more people on, any help with engagement is much appreciated. Of course, hold on. Down below in the description, I have a link that leads to my, of course, the links to YouTube Rumble, but also to my my Discord, which I only mostly use for DMing, my email, and my Twitter X. And if you want to take up the opportunity to come on yourself, either leave a comment on either Rumble or YouTube, or go to that link and find my other stuff. And yeah, just come up there because, again, guys, engagement factor and the link factor right there, all of it I appreciate because, again, guys, I wouldn't get to meet people like PoisonTaco, UB Legend, and so many others without the connections I've made with so many people. So, and again, thank you, PoisonTaco, for coming on.
No problem.
Level 5 streams gonna be epic. Yeah, because you're coming on, but that's the day of the election as well, so that's gonna be interesting in itself. But okay, so what else is there? Oh yes, tomorrow at 7 p.m. I gotta get it. Tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern, I will have on Insta Kill Wins. That looks like it's gonna be a fun time. Oh, thank you, Dash. I appreciate it. He's gonna be on tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern. I met him. I know he's on Rumble himself, but I think I communicated with him through Twitter X. So there's that. Also, I did say earlier that I was going to talk a bit more about Rumble Squared. So in a month's time, 11/23/2024 at 7 p.m. Eastern, I will be having my own form of a Rumble Roundtable. I'm calling it Rumble Squared. Let me get the picture of what it's going to look like. Here we go. All right. And then I'm going to share here we go. And then I need to, boom. All right. So this is basically what Rumble Squared is. All right. It's not exactly going to look like the logo, but that's what the name of it is going to look like. And so this is going to happen. It's going to be on the weekend, 7 p.m. Eastern. I already have 6 different other people coming on, so there's gonna be 7 people total. But if you want to come in the chat and add your bit and piece of maybe something you see could be worked on or whatever, I'm gonna try to collect that data from that stream, and when I clean it up a bit, dear Lord willing, if I can, I'm going to post that on Twitter X, and then that way all of you can take that information and do with what you will on it. But the point of the matter is I'm trying to collect data, put it out there so that we can get to those things that people want the majority of on Rumble. Because again, like you just saw with the first meeting with Silver Fox and Chris, there are some things he didn't know. And maybe this will be a help, maybe it won't. But at the end of the day, I feel like there's something here for that. And that's what I'm aiming for. So 11, 23, 24 at 7 p.m. Eastern, that's going to happen. I already have 6 other people. So the 6 people I'll have with me are UB Legend, the real Tomby. Oh, hold on. Sorry. So the other people that be on with me is Tomby, UB Legend, Heck and the Y, person named Zaza, LFG or Steven, and then G1G is going to be on with me on that day. So if you guys want to come and see what that's about, it's up to you. That's up to you, but I hope you will, because again, this will be about a data collection point to collect what the majority, what a big chunk of people are wanting from Rumble or whatever, and just try to get that sorted out so we can put it out there clean, neat, and then people can make up their own decision of, okay, so maybe they should do this or that or whatever. It's just they click for it, but it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a bit formal, but it's gonna be fun nonetheless, because got a lot of great people I know, and it's just about trying to get Rumble to be a bit better, like we just talked about earlier with PoisonTaco. So and also, as it was mentioned, not the hat of doom, Steve, it's the hat questions from a hat. Goodness sake. Every time I have this. All right. So what I have is I bought a Rumble hat. I bought a while back, and I put some questions in it. So what it is that you, the guest, get 2 freebies from it. And of course, since I'm only monetized on Rumble, not YouTube, whatever that for be, you get 2 freebies. And if the guests want one out, they gotta give a rant for it. And it doesn't matter the pricing, it's just, just a rant. So we're gonna start with the first one. I'm not looking inside. My eyes are closed. I'm just feeling it up. Okay, let's get a good one. All right, here's this. All right, here's the first one. Okay. This one says, okay, here's a good one. What's a skill you've always wanted to learn but haven't yet?
I don't know. Maybe music, I guess. I haven't got a chance to really get around to it. I don't have the time for it now.
That's true. There's never enough time, but eventually you have to make time. Otherwise, it's not otherwise things just slip by and you forget them. So, but that's understandable. All right, let's go on to the next one. Let's see. Digging around, not looking. My eyes are closed, just because you can't see them. Okay. Here's question number 2, and let's see what it says. Advanced healing. Sounds like a Skyrim thing. This is gonna be interesting. I forgot to put this one in a long time ago. What do you think about the show?
It's already good. It's good. I think you're off to a good start in getting people from the community on and together, and this can be good for networking. So I think what you're doing is good.
I've certainly had people on from different platforms as well, so there's that. It's not an ego thing. It's just it's just as a random question hat. So no, but thank you for that. I am connecting with many different people. Many are creators, but at the end there are some non-creators too, and that's what I'm also aiming for. Is because I think you see a lot of content creators, they just connect to other content creators, and I'm trying to beat that, right? Because it's just that doesn't need to be the case. We're all human beings. We all have different perspectives about the world around us, and it's time to sit down and have conversations about whatever. with people who are or aren't creators. The point of the matter is just having people sit down and just talk things out, and have fun with it too. But anyway, that is the end of the show. Again, thank you all for being here. I know it's been a bit of a weird night, especially if you're on the YouTube side, because unfortunately, Rumble Studios decided to gum up. So, but anyway, thank you all. Thank you, PoisonTaco. You're always welcome to come back, because honestly, you seem like a really cool dude with plenty of thoughts.
Yeah.
You love your Star Citizen, though. That is for sure.
Yeah, that's the bread and butter of the channel. Just wish we had more game, but
That's understandable.
I mean, I am going to have a capital ship in a month, so that'll be fun.
Now, what is what is the capital ship?
A very big ship that's going to be probably crewed by about 10 people or more.
Oh, really? Okay, I thought it'd
Yeah.
be like thousands of people, but I don't know if you
Yeah.
could run a ship off a 10. Can you run a giant ship off just 10 people?
Yeah, depending on the ship.
Oh, okay. That is true too. All right, but anyway, we how we end the show is, of course, you saw the music before earlier. That was by an artist that I follow on YouTube called Pogo. He makes some really great stuff, and of course, his link is in the description below if you want to check out his other stuff, because I have a array of collection of his stuff. But one of the songs I play at every end of every show is "One Day with You" by Pogo. Hope to see you tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern with Instakill Wins. Have a great night, guys.
Have a good
See you
night.
next time. Bye.
See ya.